So financial administration in any organization, in any department, involves planning, budgeting, control of expenditure, accounting and auditing. So before doing anything, any activities for the institute or for the department, we need to plan those activities. Then we need to estimate some budget for doing those activities, be it be small or higher activities. Then the expenditure involved in those activities or while performing the activities has to be monitored. If the expenditure is more, then we have to take necessary action to reduce the expenditure. After making the expenditure, then we need to make accounting treatment for those expenditure. Means where it is to be recorded. Then finally, auditing is to be done. It is basic, we all are doing. You may be doing, but these are the steps. As per GFR Rule 7, all money received on behalf of the government shall be brought into the government account immediately without any delay. Means whatever amount we are receiving from any person related to the institute, if we are receiving the money, that money should be brought to the institute account or government account immediately. That money should not be kept idle. It is the duty of the government department that the receipt and dues of the government are very correctly and promptly assessed, collected and credited to the government account, and finally it will be credited to the consolidated fund of India. If any dues are there, it is to be, first of all, we have to assess what is the amount to be received. Then after receiving, then it has to be credited to the proper account of the government. मीन्स आप जो भी रिसीव करेंगे गवर्नमेंट अकाउंट से, वो रिसीव को सारे आप इमीडिएटली गवर्नमेंट अकाउंट को ले लेंगे. अगर आपका ऐसा कुछ ड्यू है जो रिसीव करने के लिए अगर कुछ ड्यू है, वो ड्यू को आप प्रॉपरली असेस करेंगे. असेस करने के बाद उसको आप देन आपका इंस्टीट्यूट अकाउंट को रिसीव इंस्टीट्यूट अकाउंट से रिसीव करेंगे. जो फाइनली हम आईसीआर को भेजेंगे या आईसीआर गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को भेज रहे हैं. दिस इज द थिंग्स. जो रिसीप्ट बुक, if you are talking about the receipt book, then you may be doing, some of you may be doing, it is tier 5. Means whatever money we are receiving, yeah, maybe through bank account we are receiving, it is to be issued. Means we need to issue a receipt book to you. Means for attending this program also you are given course fees. So this institute need to issue receipt to you in form of tier 5. We will also receiving this receipt. Okay. Then amount due to the government shall not be left outstanding. Whatever due is to be received, we have to take immediate action for receiving that amount. If any amount is there which is not recoverable, that then for that we need the approval of the competent authority for that. No authority of the government of India may incur any expenditure without sanction of the competent authority. Means wherever we are incurring any expenditure in our institute also, all the expenditure is supported by a sanction order. Without sanction order, nothing can be spent. Means before any expenditure, we need to have a sanction order. If you are giving any bill to account section for payment, so certainly that bill will not be paid by the account section if there is no sanction order. So sanction order of the competent authority is to be attached along with that bill. Then as per rule 23 of the GFR, the financial power has been delegated to two various authorities. Down the level it has been delegated, so that even if in our cases, the initial power lies with our secretary there, DGICR. Subsequently, it has been delegated to the director of the institute. Then some of the power also has been delegated to the head of office. Some of the power has been delegated to the head of the division. You also might have seen that. Where the power has not been delegated, then that is known as the residuary financial power. Residuary financial power. So that will be with the ministry. So there are basically three types of accounts in Government of India system. One is Consolidated Fund of India. Second is Contingency Fund of India. Third one is Public Account. So this Consolidated Fund of India, all the expenditure of the government is incurred from this fund with the approval of the parliament. Means while incurring expenditure from the Consolidated Fund of India, approval of the parliament is required. So what is the sources? Means what are those amounts which are coming under the Consolidated Fund of India? All the taxes of the Government of India, income tax, GST, or any other receipt. So that will be received under the Consolidated Fund of India. Any loans raised by the government by issue of public notification, treasury bill, etc., that is also a part of the Consolidated Fund of India. And the contingency fund of no need to write down. I will say. So this contingency fund of India means this is used to meet out the unforeseen expenditure of the government with the sanction of the President of India. Means any expenditure which is not known, some unforeseen expenditure means contingent liabilities we can tell, which is not known. The expenditure we may incur or may not incur like that. For incurring those expenditure, we need to draw it from the Contingency Fund of India. And this Contingency Fund of India means it is a corpus fund with the Government of India to meet the unforeseen expenditure. Public account, this is the transaction other than those included in the Consolidated Fund of India. Any amount we have received, if it is not included in the Consolidated Fund of India, that will come in the public account. Transactions related to the debt, deposits and advances in respect to which government incur liability to pay the money received, like that. In the GFR, Rule 21 tells regarding the standard of financial propriety. It is a very important. You may be asked in the question also, what is the standards of financial propriety? So standard of financial propriety means, in summary, we can tell that every officer is expected to exercise the same vigilance in respect of expenditure incurred from public money. Means if you are incurring expenditure as a government servant, so you have to incur expenditure thinking that as if this money belongs to you. आप अपने पैसा जैसे खर्चा करते हैं तो पब्लिक फंड को पैसा को भी ऐसे आपको खर्चा करना चाहिए. जो भी ऑफिसर इन्वॉल्व है, आपका पास जो आपका पैसा अपना घर के लिए भी जो यूज करते हैं, जैसे भी आप यूज करते हैं, तो पब्लिक फंड को भी ऐसे आप यूज करना चाहिए. आपको ऐसे ही पॉलिसी प्रिंसिपल आपका जैसे सोच के ये मेरा अपना फंड है तो ऐसे ही खर्चा करना चाहिए. The expenditure should not be more than the occasion demands. Generally, the expenditure as per the situation, there should be the expenditure. It is not that the situation demands only means we have invited 1,000 people for a meeting, so there is no need to prepare lunch or working lunch or food for 2,000 people. So in a meeting, if expected tomorrow we are going to have a DPC, so DPC around, for example, 10% will be involved. So okay, we'll incur expenditure, tea or snacks or something, considering that 10% only. It is not that we'll prepare lunch and snacks for more than 20-30 people. So that is the expenditure should not be more than the occasion demands. So no authority should exercise its power of sanctioning expenditure to pass an order which will be directly or indirectly to its own advantages. Means if you are the authority, you cannot pass any order for your own personal benefit, for personal purposes things. I'm not talking about TLTC, those are the different issue. Means for official duties, official activities, you cannot, means the competent authority or the person who is competent enough, he cannot sanction the any expenditure which will be beneficial, or who for that which will be beneficial for him for his personal purposes. He cannot incur those expenditure. Expenditure from public money should not be incurred for the benefit of a particular person or a section of the people. It should not be incurred for a particular person or a section. As per provision of Rule 25 of the GFR, all sanction to the expenditure shall indicate the detail of the provision in the relevant grant or appropriation. Means whenever the sanction order will be issued, that sanction order tells, means the head of expenditure, you might have seen the expenditure of rupees 1 lakh is to be spent under institute, under grant in aid general, under grant in aid general, or under grant in aid capital, or under plant and machinery aid, or under furniture aid, that we are writing, or under library books aid, or under livestock aid. Generally in the sanction order it should be mentioned, and that sanction order also to tell, means for example, if you have issued a particular sanction order during this financial year of 25-26, that sanction order cannot be utilized in the next same financial, means we cannot pay money in the next financial year by using this the current year sanction order. Again in the next financial year it will fail, that sanction order is to be revalidated. Then what is the responsibility of the your controlling officer? What is the duty or responsibility of the controlling officer? The controlling officer should monitor that the whatever expenditure we are incurring, the expenditure should not be more than the budget allocation. Whatever the fund has been allocated for a particular work, so your expenditure should be within that allocation of the budget only. Again, the expenditure will be incurred for the very purpose for which the fund has been provided. For example, again, if you have given 1 lakh rupees for conducting a specific training program, or conducting arranging a meeting of farmers, that 1 lakh is to be spent for that particular work only. It is not that I have received 1 lakh for one work and I will incur that expenditure for a other work. It should not be. And all the expenditure should be incurred in public interest only. Whatever the expenditure we are incurring, that expenditure has to be incurred in public interest. Adequate control mechanism is functioning in each department, means particular every institute or department should have the adequate mechanism of prevention, detection of error, and irregularities, detection of irregularities, like that. Date of effect of sanction, that I told you, subject to fulfillment of the provision as contained in the delegation of financial power, all rules, sanction and orders shall come into force from the date of issue, unless any other date from which they shall come into force. Means you cannot incur any expenditure prior to the date of sanction order. For a particular, if you are incurring expenditure against a particular sanction order, you cannot incur expenditure prior to the date of sanction order. Okay. And similarly also, as I told you, if during 25-26 you have issued a sanction order, you cannot incur any expenditure during 26-27 against that sanction order. अगर एक sanction order आप ए फाइनेंशियल ईयर में इशू कर रहे हैं, तो आपको एक्सपेंडिचर इसी फाइनेंशियल ईयर में करना पड़ेगा. ऐसा नहीं कि आप इवन नेक्स्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर में भी सेम सैंक्शन ऑर्डर को यूज करके आप एक्सपेंडिचर करेंगे, नहीं कर पाएंगे, क्योंकि उसमें आपका ईयर चेंज हो जाएगा. तो आपको फिर अगेन रिवैलिडेट करना पड़ेगा, फ्रेश सैंक्शन ऑर्डर आपको कराना पड़ेगा। एज पर रूल 29, जो भी whatever sanction order will be issued by the administrative section, that has to be endorsed or communicated to the accounts officer for payment. If any particular bill is to be paid, then again that bill is to be enclosed with the sanction order. Again, that sanction order should specifically tell what is the amount to be incurred, exact amount, both in figures and both in words, what is the exact amount is to be incurred, and under which head that expenditure also is to be incurred. Then only again under that head funds should be available, sufficient funds should be available, then only expenditure can be made. Lapse of sanction, as I told you, if a particular year has been completed, then that particular sanction order will be lapsed. When the period of currency of the sanction is prescribed in the department regulation or is specified in the sanction itself, shall lapse on the expiry of such period. If one particular period is mentioned in a sanction order, then after expiry of that period, then that sanction order will be lapsed. Then again, as I told you, financial year also, after the expiry of the financial year, the sanction order will be lapsed. Loss of government property due to fire, theft, fraud, as per Rule 34. All the loss of above rupees 50,000 due to fire, theft, fraud shall be reported to the police for investigation as early as possible at the institute level. If you have incurred any loss to the for the 50,000 and more due to fire theft, it has to be reported to the police station. As per Rule 35, loss of immovable property. If the immovable property, there is a loss of more than 50,000 due to fire, flood, cyclone, earthquake, or any other natural causes, it shall be this such type of loss should be reported to the government through proper channel. Means in case of institute, we will report to the ICR. Again, if required, ICR will report to the government of India. Then, as per Rule 37, the responsibility has to be fixed for the losses. Why responsibility is to be fixed? If the loss is for any fraud or negligence or careless, then for that responsibility is to be fixed. An officer shall be held personally responsible for any loss sustained by the government through fraud or negligence on his part, and departmental proceeding is to be conducted for assessing the responsibility. If the loss is due to your personal negligence or due to fraud it has happened, or due to your negligence of duty it has been happened. Budget formulation, as per Rule 44, budget is to be formulated. Estimates of all budget formulate means you need to prepare your budget estimate and revise estimate. Anyone, if you are involved in preparation of the budget estimate and revise estimate, then you can also know this thing very well. Means generally during the month of September, we are preparing budget estimate and revise estimate. Okay. Then if at the time of budget estimate, we have to show the actual expenditure from April to August, 31st August. We have to show the actual expenditure from April to August in our cases. And then from September to March, we have to show the anticipated expenditure. Then putting the actual expenditure and anticipated expenditure, total will be our total revised estimate. That will be our revised estimate. Means if, for example, initial in the last year we are having a budget of 1,000, for example. Last year we have prepared budget estimate of current year. Generally, this is the process. If during the month of this September 2025, we have prepared budget estimate for the next year, means 26-27, and revised estimate for the current year. If our initially our budget was 1000, then up to August, what is our total expenditure? Then what is our anticipated expenditure from September to March? If our actual expenditure and anticipated expenditure, if it is more than 1000, then our revised estimate will be 1200. And at the same time, we need to prepare budget estimate of the next financial year also. Those who are preparing, they may be knowing this. BRE, budget estimate and revised estimate. You may be knowing this capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. So capital expenditure is that any expenditure which is incurred for acquiring any asset, means like your plant, machinery, building, furniture, equipment, plant and machinery, computer, laptop, for that. And if that equipment will be used by our institute for more than 1 year, and that will not be used for earning any profit, means that is used generally for enhancing the capacity of the organization. Means if you have acquired your plant and machinery, your computer or building, so generally it will be used for years together. So that is known as capital expenditure. Okay. So that is generally it will be used in the organization, and it is not for any sale purposes. It cannot be used. Yeah, we cannot sell. We have not purchased those items for selling it. So that is known as capital expenditure. So generally we are telling that these are all assets. Like this comes in the asset side of the balance sheet, like your as I told you, starting from land, building, plant and machinery, furniture, equipment, your books and your vehicles, all are capital expenditures. Means we are incurring expenditure only once, but those items will be held by us for more than a year, for more than 5 or 10 years, like that. So that is that purpose is not the purpose of acquiring those assets is not to sell in due course of time. Rather, we will retain in that in our business for enhancing our utility of the organization, for enhancing the earning capacity of our organization. Then revenue expenditure, like day to day we are incurring expenditure like payment of salary, wages, payment of electricity bill, fuel. This is revenue expenditure, means recurring expenditure. Again, revenue expenditure is known as recurring expenditure, whereas capital expenditure is known as non-recurring expenditure. Revenue expenditure means regularly, every month we are incurring those expenditure. Every month we are making payment towards salary, payment towards rent, fuel, electricity, your like postage, telegraph, vehicle running expenses, wages. These are revenue expenditure. Okay, so that will be it will be again charged to profit and loss account or a trading account, like that. Definition of works. What is works generally? As per rule 130 of GFR, any new construction or any new addition or alteration to existing works, or special refers to newly purchased or previously abandoned building or structure, including remodeling or replacement. This is original works. And minor works which add capital value to existing assets but do not create new assets. These are minor works. Okay. And repair and maintenance work means generally you are having the structure or building with you, but you need to spend money for its repair and maintenance. So that will be coming under repair and works. Your original works and minor works. So these both will be under expenditure for the original works, and minor works will be incurred under granted capital. But whereas expenditure for repair works, if the amount is very negligible, if the amount is not more than the value of the original value of the assets, then in that case the repair maintenance cost will be coming under the general contingency budget. As per the delegation of power, you see and your ICA has delegated that up to 100 lakhs of the work can be approved by the director without approval of the INC. Without approval of the INC, director of the institute is having the power to sanction a work up to 100 lakhs. And with the approval of the INC, director of the institute can sanction the work up to 200 lakhs, 2 crores, that means. Then sanction of the work by concerned DDG of ICA after concurrence with the FA there above 200 to up to 500 lakhs. Then sanction of the works by DG above 500 lakhs. Then these are the original works, and if you talk about the, you see again power of director to carry out the original works and special repair and maintenance work under capital grant. 25 lakhs can be spent by the director of the institute for carrying out original works, special repair, or minor works, either departmentally or through any outside agencies. But this is under capital head. Again, director of the institute can spend money, amount up to 50 lakhs for carrying out original works or special repair or minor works other than capital grant. Means this 50 lakhs is not under capital, but first 25 lakhs is under capital grant. While executing the works, no works shall be commenced unless and until we are having administrative approval for particularly that work, or sanction to incur the expenditure has been obtained from the competent authority. That means if you are having budget, specific budget for incurring expenditure under works item, any works. So what we will have to do? First, you have to see whether budget provision is there or not. Okay, sufficient budget provision is there. Then you need to obtain, if it is a major work, you need to obtain a preliminary estimate from the CPWD. Okay. Then after obtaining the estimate, then we have to send those estimates along with the INC approval if required to the director works for vetting. Then after we get the vetting from the director works, then we need to deposit money to the CPWD in installment wise. Yeah, after obtaining the director works, we need to issue the administrative approval and expenditure sanction. While communicating the administrative approval and expenditure sanction, we have to write the full amount of the works what has been vetted by the director works as per the preliminary estimate of the CPWD. Then again, finally, work order will be issued if it is a small work, or once we issue the administrative approval and expenditure sanction, then CPWD will will issue the tender at their own level for finalize the contractor for doing the work on our behalf. What are means as per the rule 143, the term goods includes all the article material, means whatever item we are having except books, publication, periodicals, all will be coming under the definition of the goods. Means it will be all material, commodity, livestock, furniture, fixture, raw material, spares, instrument, machinery, equipment, vehicles, medicines, all intangible product like software, technology transfer, all will be coming under definition of the goods. But books, publication and periodicals for library are excluded in this definition. Okay, the term goods also includes works and services which are incidental or consequential to the supply of such goods. Like if you have incurred transportation or insurance while bringing certain item from the market to your institute place, and you have incurred certain expenditure toward transportation or insurance, or you have incurred expenditure certain installation or commissioning, then that expenditure will also be included on to do it to the goods account, means to that particular equipment account. What I mean to say is that if the cost of the equipment is 1000, for example, but you have incurred certain amount, maybe 200 amount towards transportation, insurance, installation, like that. So if again somebody will ask what is the cost of your expenditure or cost of your equipment, the cost of the that equipment will be 1000 plus 200, total 1200. Though you have paid 1000 towards equipment only, but 200 has been spent towards transportation, insurance and installation. That is why this 200 also will be added to the cost of the equipment. As per rule 144, fundamental principle of public buying. So as per this, we have to follow certain procedure. Means the responsible officer shall have to bring efficiency, economy and transparency while procuring the goods. Then the procedure to be followed in making public procurement must conform to the following yardstick. Mainly means your specification should be generic one. While framing the specification, you should not write for a particular brand or particular trade name, particular trademark, like that. Care should also be given to avoid purchasing huge quantities. Means you should purchase the quantity as much as required by you only. It is not that more quantity you will procure. Then again you need to store those quantities in some places. For that also again you need to have sufficient space. You need to spend time for monitoring those. Then again with the due process of the time, those items also may may lose its value, like that. Officer offer should be invited following a fair, transparent and responsible, reasonable procedure. And while selecting the offer, we should first see the quoted bid should meet all our requirement, means all our specification. The rate should be reasonable. Then in that case only we should select that particular bid. J, as per rule 149, nowadays wherever we are purchasing any item, first of all we should try for procuring those items through GEM only. First of all we should try to procure through GEM. If the item is not available in the GEM, then we should go outside GEM. Means like other procedures are there, we should follow that. Then for procuring the goods through GEM, if the value of the item is rupees up to 50,000, then we can purchase the item through GEM through direct purchase method. Means directly we can purchase that if the value is up to 50,000. There is no comparison, no I think number of there is no need to find number of more bids, like that. If the value is up to 50, we can purchase it directly. If the value is more than 50 but up to 1 lakh, then we need to procure the item through L1 basis. Again, L1 basis means in this case minimum 3 bidders should be there, 3 manufacturers, 3 different manufacturers, not same. 3 different manufacturers should be there for that particular item, and where we need to have a L1 rate. Means out of these 3, we need to have a who is the lowest rate. Then on that basis, order will be placed. Push button procurement for amount up to 5 lakh. If again through GEM only, if the supplier if the supplier are very small, or if the bidder are infrequent bidders, then in that case we need to follow the procedure of the push button procurement. And every time while going for custom bid or BAP bidding, reverse auction need to be followed. Reverse auctions means what is reverse auction? In that case only, again that through bidder there will be a competition among them. Means again they can initially put the rate. Again, afterwards also they can revise their rate. Means like auction. In case of auction, we will sell our product to those who will give a highest price. But in case of reverse auction, RA auction, we will purchase from those bidders who will give lowest bid. Means among the bidders there will be a competition. Then through GEM also, this PSC, proprietary article mode is there. If you are planning to choose a particular item of a particular brand or particular make, so we can also follow this PSC mode. Recently also, GEM has introduced this rate contract for purchase of chemical, glassware. There also we can adopt this procedure. But before that, if you are planning to go for rate contract through GEM, then we need to submit a request to the GEM nodal officer for creation of an RC organization. That is mandatory. That is required. After that only, so again we can proceed further for chemical glassware like that. If any your confusion will be there, we can contact the nodal officer GEM also. This is rule 154. Purchase of goods without quotation. If the item is not available in the GEM, then this concept will be followed. If the item is not available and the value of the goods is up to 50, means up to 50 I am talking about taking on general terms and conditions. Not there is a special relaxation for scientific organization. In case of scientific organization relaxation, it is up to 2 lakh. But in general, excluding this, means normal condition GFR is up to 50,000 on each occasion. If the item is not available, then we can purchase the goods as per rule 154. One certificate is to be recorded that I am personally satisfied that these goods purchased are of the requisite quality and specification and have been purchased from a reliable supplier at a reasonable price. And this is rule 155. Purchasing of goods by a purchase committee. Again, if the item is not available through GEM, the one committee will be local purchase committee of minimum 3 members will be constituted by the director to survey the market, and the committee will survey the market to ascertain the reasonableness of rate, quality and specification and identify the appropriate supplier. One certificate in the prescribed format also will be given. Then after that, up to from 50, if the value of the item is more than 50,000 and up to 5 lakh, we can go for this up to committee. Okay. Purchase committee. It is not a special election differently, I will tell you separately. And in this case, in both the cases, if it is GFR 154 and 55, GEM availability report is to be submitted. If the item is not available in the GEM, then only we can go for 154 and in 155. This is e-procurement. It is mandatory to receive all the bids through e-procurement. Nowadays, everyone is going through GEM. So that is why as per rule 160, this e-procurement provision is there, but as we are all purchasing through GEM only, this is not relevant for us nowadays. If you are going for advertisement tender, if you are going, but again we are every time we are going through GEM only, but in case if you are going for advertisement tender, this is the process, estimated value of 25 lakh and above, like that. CPP, this. But again, what I mean to say is that as every time we are following GEM only, and if it is not available GEM, then only we can follow open advertisement tender and this 2-bid system also. 2-bid system of means maybe CPP portal, Central Public Procurement Portal, CPP. Then in that case, we have to bid in 2-bid system. Like one is technical bid, consisting of all technical details along with commercial terms and conditions. Then financial bid, indicating item-wise price. Means first we need to evaluate the bid technically. If we have received sufficient bids, technical bids, then technical bid will be evaluated as per our specification. Means whether those technical bidders or the bids Those who have submitted the technical bids, they have submitted the all proper documents or not, whatever we have asked in our tender document, and whether their offered specification is matching our specification or not. In that case, we will technically evaluate those bids. If, for example, we have received 10 bids and we have evaluated those bids, and out of 10, only 3 bids are technically qualified, then we will open the financial bid of only those 3 technical qualified bids. All the bids will be technically qualified first, technically evaluated first. Then after technical evaluation, the technically qualified bids will be opened their financial bids. Okay. Then again, after opening of the financial bid, order will be placed to the lowest quoted bidder. Late bids, if we have received any late bid, means in case of advertisement tender inquiry or limited tender inquiry, bids received after the specified date and time should not be considered. If in a specific case, last date of the receipt of the bids along with the time is also maintained at 5 p.m. or 2 p.m. So any bid received after the specific date and time will not be accepted. Single tender inquiry, every time also we can go for single tender inquiry. Wherever or whatever the situation where we can go for single tender inquiry, if it is in the knowledge of user department that only a particular firm is the manufacturer of the required goods, or in case of emergency, the required goods are necessity to be purchased from a particular firm, or for standardization of machinery or spare parts, means if we are having a specific equipment from a particular manufacturer, and if that equipment is not working, we need some spare parts for that equipment, and for that spare parts is specifically available along with that particular manufacturer only, then in that case we can purchase the spare parts from that particular manufacturer. And in case of emergency also, you immediately can purchase the goods from any item, but in that case you need to prove that really it is a case of emergency. And if you are as a buying department, if you are telling that a particular firm is only manufacturer of that goods, then only you can go for a single tender. And single tender inquiry means proprietary article certificate. For that proprietary article certificate, you need to submit the certificate in this proper format. Then only PSC, every institute should have a PSC committee also. After obtaining this certificate, then PSC committee will verify this document and give their recommendation. These are the content of the bidding documents. These are all of the content, means while advertisement tender, even if GEM also we are going for bidding, these are the content, means chapter 1 is the instruction to bidder, then condition of the contract, schedule of requirement, specification and allied technical details, price schedule to be utilized by the bidder for quoting their price, contract form, other standard form. These are the content, and accordingly we have to submit this our bid also. In case of maintenance contract, like your ANC, if you are having ANC of computer, air conditioner, lift, like that, so that ANC will be a specific period. Then after that completion of that period, so that again we can renew for the ANC, we can go for fresh ANC also. ANC again we can also go for ANC through GEM also. Okay. Bid security, if you are in case of our tender, bid security can be obtained. Bid security is also known as earnest money deposit, EMD. So EMD with a range of 2 to 5% of the estimated value of the goods is to be obtained from the bidder, except micro and small enterprises and micro, small and medium enterprises. We can obtain the bid. The bid can be obtained in the form of account paid demand draft, fixed deposit receipt, banker checks, like that. And the bid security is to remain valid for 45 days beyond the final bid validity period, and the bid security of the unsuccessful bidder should be returned after expiry of the final bid. Means in case of the bid, there may be unsuccessful bidder. If they have deposited their EMD, so the EMD should be refunded to the unsuccessful bidder immediately. And in some cases, in place of the bid security, the department or institute may also ask the bidder to submit a security declaration. A bid security declaration also you can also obtain. Nowadays also we are obtaining a bid security declaration. Then performance security you should obtain from the bidder with a range of 5 to 10% of the value of the contract. You can obtain the performance security, and the performance security will remain valid for a period of 60 days beyond the date of all contractual obligation. Advance payment. Whether advance payment is possible to the supplier or not. In no case we are giving advance payment to any supplier. We are not giving any advance payment to a private parties. Only advance payment to government parties we are giving, like CPWDs. But advance payment to a private party is not allowed. Private supplier is not allowed. But in case of the ANC maintenance contract, advance payment demanded by the firm can be paid for a particular, maybe for in advance 3 months they demand, 6 months can demand, it can be paid. Advance payment demanded by the firm against a fabrication contract also can be paid. If you are paying such advance payment like maintenance contract or your fabrication contract, then what will be the value of the advance payment? 30% of the contract value to a private firm, the 30% of the contract value, 40% of the contract value to a state or central government agency or public sector undertaking. In case of the maintenance contract like ANC, the amount should not exceed the amount payable for 6 months under the contract. While making advance payment as above, adequate safeguard in form of bank guarantee should be obtained. Means you can make advance payment as mentioned above, but you need to obtain a bank guarantee for that purposes also. So that means better to avoid advance payment. This is the transparency, competition and fairness, and elimination of arbitration in case of procurement. While procuring the goods, these are the our bidding document should follow this type of the things. So our bidding document should mention all these points. Whatever I have mentioned here, I will share the PPT. You can go through this. Negotiation is generally, we should avoid negotiation. Even if the supplier or the bidder is the lowest one, L1, we should avoid negotiation. After award of the contract, the name of the successful bidder need to be uploaded at our institute website. Okay, and sometimes in case of it may so happen that we may receive only a single bid. Means a single technically qualified bid. We have opened the financial bid also. In that case also, whether you can go place order on the basis of that single order, yes, we can also go order. You can also place order for that on that single bid, provided the procurement was satisfactorily was advertised and sufficient time was given. You have given sufficient time for advertisement of the tender, and it was published widely. Then there was no very restrictive qualification, and the price are reasonable to the market value. If these conditions are fulfilled, you can also go. Buyback offer. Sometimes in our tender document, if any old, for example, our battery or UPS like that is there, we can also mention that this word in our you might have seen replacement. In case of replacement of battery, generally the old battery will be taken away by that supplier, and they will give the new battery, and the price of that old battery will be adjusted. It is like also one buyback. Consulting services, as per rule 177, the bidding for consulting services is to be done. Then rule 191 says the method of selection and evaluation of the consultancy proposal Rule 192 quality and cost based selection. Rule 193 list cost system. 194 single source selection. In case of consultancy by or consultancy by nomination. Selection is considered only under exceptional circumstances, such as if you are following rule 194, we can go very well with the rule 194, provided that task will be a repetition, means continuation of our previous work, or in case of emergency situation also we can go, or where a situation where execution of assignment may involve use of proprietary technique. In that case, we go. Then outsourcing of services, like our hiring of manpower, security services, like that. Outsourcing of services. In case also, we need to invite a tender, and for estimated value up to 50 lakh or less, the department can issue limited tender inquiry to likely contract. But in that case, there should be more than 3 bidders. If the estimated value is more than 50 lakh, the department may issue advertisement tender on CPP portal or GEM portal. You see, this special provision for scientific minister department, as I was telling, this rule 154 presently did the limit, as per rule 154, we can go up to 2 lakh, means 2 lakh of your chemical glassware can be purchased by any scientific organization as per rule 154. Then as per rule 154, up to 25 lakh item can be purchased. And in case of limited tender inquiry, the amended limit is up to 1 crore. Advertisement tender, amended limit is up to is above 1 crore. You see, these are the procurement, means this is specifically for procurement of scientific equipment and consumable, required only for resource purposes. It is not that for procuring stationery, you will follow the special provision. Special provision will be followed only for scientific equipment and consumable required for research purposes. Okay. And again, while following this, if you are following this special relaxation, then only also we need to see that whether the items are available on GEM or not. If items are available on GEM, so we will procure the item through GEM. If not available on the GEM, then only this will be applied. You see, one this global tender inquiry is there. As per that global tender inquiry, briefly I will tell you that. Means up to 2 crores, we can go for global tender inquiry for more than 2 crore. Means there are certain equipments. This your Make in India provision has to be there. Make in India MI clause means but there are certain equipment where this MI clause also not applicable. We may go for global tender inquiry. Means Government of India has identified 354 equipment. If your indented equipment is falling under that category, you may also go for global tender inquiry, even if the cost is less than 2 crores. Means less than some, even if the cost is in lakhs also, you can go for global tender inquiry. You see, this is the quickly I will tell you. In case of consultancy evaluation committee, proceeding must be properly recorded in the file. And in case of we should avoid restrictive clauses in our tender document, and the eligibility criteria are very clearly need to be mentioned. All evaluation stages, technical or financial, must be documented in writing. Institute must obtain bid security and EMD and performance security as per GFR. Institute must avoid repeated extension. Repeatedly, we should avoid extension. Pre-bid conference meeting, wherever required, you should conduct pre-bid conference. This relaxation of norm for startup or medium enterprises. So you may, where procuring entity may prefer the vendor to have prior experience rather than giving order to new entities. Means in this case, it is up to the competent authority. We may give relaxation of prior experience, or in case of turnover also, we may give or may not give. May what is written. It is not very strict. We should give prior relaxation on prior experience और turnover means मेरा बोलना ही है आप रिलैक्सेशन दे सकते हैं, नहीं भी दे सकते हैं. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि आप रिलैक्सेशन देना आपको मैंडेटरी है, ऐसा कहीं लिखा नहीं है ऑर्डर में. आप रिलैक्सेशन दे सकते हैं, नहीं भी दे सकते. मैं जैसे बात कर रहा था कि ग्लोबल टेंडर इंक्वायरी अप टू 200 करोड़ कैन बी इनवाइटेड, लेकिन ऐसा कुछ इक्विपमेंट है जो इक्विपमेंट 354 मेडिकल डिवाइसेस से मतलब लिस्ट ऑफ इक्विपमेंट 354 list are there. If any item you are procuring, if the value of item is, for example, 10 lakh, but that item is listed in this medical 354, listed under this 354, you can also go for global tender inquiry. Means Make in India provision also is not applicable here. If government has given relaxation, means global tender inquiry can be invited only for 200 crores case. But if your item is 10 lakh only, you can also go for limited global tender inquiry if that item is enlisted in this list. Office vehicle, condemnation of office vehicle, you may be knowing the lives of various type of vehicle in terms of distance and length of service. Whichever is risk latter means दोनों होना चाहिए. Whichever is risk latter. अगर आपका पास कमर्शियल व्हीकल है 4 लाख किलोमीटर रन होना चाहिए, 10 years होना चाहिए, दोनों कंप्लीट होना चाहिए. Whichever is not earlier ऐसा नहीं लिखा है, तो आपको दोनों केस में कंप्लीट होना चाहिए. 4 लाख किलोमीटर रन होना चाहिए, 10 years होना चाहिए. Then motor vehicle with 20 HP RSC 1,50,000 किलोमीटर रन होना चाहिए, एज उसका 6.5 years होना चाहिए. And the life of a tractor shall be taken as 10,000 hours or 10 years. Again whichever is this latter. एक केस में आप व्हीकल को कंडेम कर सकते हैं. जब आप व्हीकल कंडेम करेंगे तो अगेन सम प्रोसीजर नीड टू बी फॉलोड. वन आपको दैट आई हैव गिवन हियर. व्हाट आर द प्रोसीजर यू नीड टू फॉलो. ये एक्शन जो भी व्हीकल आप ये करेंगे, एक्शन करेंगे, तो अगर उसका 15 years मीन्स व्हीकल का एज अगर 15 years हो गया, 15 years से ज्यादा, तो आपको उसको मैंडेटोरीली it has to be scrapped at registered vehicle scrapping facilities. This RVSF में उसको आपको करना पड़ेगा. The portal developed by the Metal Scrap Trading Corporation is to be used for e-auction of condemned vehicle by the sharing the detail of the condemned vehicle. Then after depositing the EMD or security deposit, bidder to submit their bids on MSTC portal. तो वो केस में आपको करना पड़ेगा. तो ये मेरा एक्चुअली ऐसे देखने से GFR जो एक भास्ट चैप्टर है, तो मुझे कंपेल थोड़ा शॉर्ट टाइम में आपको समरी वे में ये करना